And you have evidence for this?
There is quite a lot of evidence for that. Yeah.
Not for that.
What's the evidence?
What?
What's the evidence?
Not
There's
for
a lot
that.
of evidence. What's the evidence?
I don't have it. Like,
You said there's lots of
right
evidence.
here.
What is it?
A biogenesis doesn't have evidence as you think it does. It doesn't. Way,
Yeah.
because of the inherent laws that have been placed by an intelligent agency. If there were no laws
That's
of
your explanation.
no. If there were no laws of physics put in to operation, the universe operates under laws of physics and biology and chemistry, the laws of nature.
Yeah.
Without these laws, the water would be stagnant. It would not flow at all. It follows or flows because of these laws that is operational. The laws themselves didn't make themselves. They're operational. They're put in by an intelligent agency. That's the very question I'm asking. So you'll be question begging to say, oh, I assume all that and then the water flows. You can't use that example. In fact, you cannot bring any example. Snowflakes, anything, mountain rolls, because everything is assuming that already laws are in existence. Where did the law come from? So let's go back to this question about law. The universe has operational laws.
Yeah.
Laws are not conscious. How do they implement and act on these laws? Like laws, two things which are close to each other in a proximity, one heavy and one less heavy. The heavier one will pull the less heavy one, gravity. This law is quite universal, okay? You and I we are standing because of gravity. That law is operational, it's working. The law itself is not conscious.
No.
So how does he implement it?
It's something we figured out
No.
because
Who is
of
implement?
science. Isaac Newton.
Who?
Isaac Newton figured it out
No.
because
He figured the law that's operational, but who's implementing it?
Where did it come from?
Okay, I think that's a good question, and I think my explanation is we don't know exactly.
We do know.
And that's
You know,
the nice thing about science. It's ever evolving and it's ever changing.
It's there because it's there.
Science,
it's there because
science
it's
has
there, and
already,
your explanation is there is a deity.
science has already explained design, inference equals a designer.
Because-
Whenever there is a design inferred, it's because it's designed by a designer. There's a difference between patterns and complexities and design, right? So whenever we see things which are contingent things that could have been otherwise, and it shows complexity and it shows specificity,
Yeah.
that is a hallmark of design. Your code is design. No question about it. It's not question begging at all. I don't need to argue it. It's designed with all the features of buttons and cuts, arms and so on, and sewing pockets. Everything is features of design. So you cannot simply say, you know what, no, I don't accept it. It's just there. It just happened by itself. You would not accept it.
Yeah, but we have proof that my jacket was created by a person.
Have you
There
seen,
is no proof. Like, it's a good explanation to
what proof have you got?
to explain the thing we don't know yet. Is there is a
What
deity
proof?
who knows it?
What proof have you
But-
got that this is design? What proof?
If I go,
You haven't seen the
not now,
maker.
but if I go look it up, I
No.
can find the
Maker,
design
the
of
designer.
this and the designer of this
So
thing.
your
You
argument.
cannot find
So your argument is
the
this.
deity you believe. in.
Let's deal with it.
So that's the biggest
Can I ask a
difference.
question?
And I agree with you that it's a good explanation. It's an explanation for the thing we don't know.
Okay.
But my explanation is it just is.
Okay.
And your explanation is there is a deity, and
Here's a question for you. Here's
my friend
if
Hamza.
Artemis landed on the moon and started digging,
Yeah.
and they found cables and electronic equipment and stuff, yeah? What would you infer?
if there were electric
Yeah,
cables
cables and stuff there, yeah.
on the moon,
Yeah.
I would try to find out the explanation why.
But you don't know, do you?
No,
What
I
would you
don't know.
infer?
I don't know.
What,
I would do
what
it.
would you infer from that?
I don't know.
Be honest.
I don't know yet. Like it
So
hasn't
you're
happened.
telling me you see cables and stuff on the moon under the surface, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to posit that something intelligent produced that, no?
Yeah, but I
you
would
haven't seen
probably
that thing.
think there is something like
So there's no going to look for your
life
design in your
somewhere
jacket
else
here,
on
no,
Earth
is there?
than on Earth, and not. I wouldn't think there it would be a deity.
What would be your thought? would you accept that
alien life
there must be something? But you haven't seen
alien life forms would be probably
well, you have no frame of reference for that.
No, no.
You don't know if aliens exist.
And that's exactly why the discussion is going on, because
But you
It's-
inferred.
No.
But you inferred aliens without knowing the aliens
Exactly.
exist.
There's God.
No.
And my
See what he did. He did inference to the best
we don't know
explanation.
yet. We don't know yet.
No. Here's the
That's
problem
my
you have.
point.
I'll explain the problem you have. Right. You know that DNA contains digital code. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know digital code is something that we only ever get from intelligence. Yeah. So how do you explain digital code in DNA?
What do you mean? Like,
Well, it's there. So where did it come from?
a lot of the things we know.
Evolution, my friend.
No. Evolution can only happen after that. Okay. So
No.
Evolution cannot make inferences to like this of complex.
It can.
Evolution, look.
It can.
Evolution
Well,
is not conscious,
how
is
does
it?
evolution produce DNA code?
Well, it started from the beginning.
What's the beginning?
From the beginning.
What is the beginning?
I don't know.
G is the creating the
From matter, matter became
Yeah.
So
organic?
circumstances Earth was in, but
Yeah, but
which made it able to produce
you have
life form.
and you have evidence for this.
There is quite a lot of evidence for that. Yeah.
not for that.
What's the evidence?
What?
What's the evidence?
Not
There's
for
a lot of
that.
evidence. What's the evidence?
I don't have it. Like,
Well, you said there's lots of
right
evidence.
here.
What is it?
A biogenesis doesn't have evidence as you think it does. It doesn't.
Do you understand how DNA works?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. You
Not
seem to know.
completely, but
How do you understand what? How is
I'm not a
explain
scientist
DNA to me,
myself.
if you don't mind?
What's that?
Explain to me how DNA works.
DNA works well. It is it's an acid in,
No.
in a human cell. And it has
amino acid.
It has amino acids and that's codes. And it produces proteins. Well, now it produces RNA.
How does it pro-
RNA first, and then DNA.
How does it produce proteins?
Through RNA
Right. And where does the RNA come from?
from DNA.
And what is the information in DNA from?
It's
Evolution.
Evolution.
No. Okay. Explain that. The point is, we're talking about the origin. Okay. Evolution is something that comes later.
Well, but that's my explanation is.
But did you?
We don't know everything.
But
No,
did
no.
you?
But here's the problem you've got.
Did you notice one thing on this
300 years,
explanation?
but the 300 years
To
ago,
make
we
DNA,
thought the Earth was flat.
you need proteins like ribosomes. To make ribosomes, you need DNA. Catch 22. Which
understand?
one?
No, it's not true.
Okay. So without ribosomes, you can make DNA. Transcription.
No, but that's a vice versa.
Can you make
DNA
proteins without ribosome?
No, protein is made by not only ribosomes, but by
No,
cell-
ribosome is the one
cell
that pulls in the
content-
amino
cell
acids.
content.
When you have DNA, translation, transcription, all of that, you need a machinery.
Yes.
What is that machinery? You have what machinery that transcribes and translates this single strand, double strand, rejoining? What is that machinery? There's proteins involved.
Yeah, originally, yeah.
And that protein is made by the DNA.
Amino acids.
But you can't get the
That's the
protein
word.
without
That's
the
the
amino
word.
acids.
Yeah.
You can't get
Amino-
amino acids
not
joining
just-
together
not just-
without the DNA.
I agree.
Consists of-
There are a lot of
Not just
questions.
ordinary amino acids.
have they
Amino
got-
acids
okay,
combine
yeah.
together to form three-dimensional
Here's the problem
proteins.
you have.
So that to make it, you need DNA already.
Darwin's inference to the best explanation.
Catch 22.
Whenever you see this
No, I
type
don't
of
think so.
information in your human experience, its source is always intelligence. Always. There's never an occasion where you'll find digital code where... Okay. So the question you need to answer is why, when you say the same type of digital code in DNA, do you ignore your human experience?
It's a very good question, and I think the explanation you guys have is a very good one.
Yeah, but I want to
Absolutely.
good. But I want to ask your dad this question.
Yeah.
Same question on the moon or another planet, and you see this highly sophisticated cabling going. What would you infer? Because you don't believe in aliens and you don't believe in God, and you see the example of intelligence in there. What would you infer?
I don't know because I've never seen cables on the moon.
But hypothetically, you're there, and you've seen the cables, very sophisticated engineering. What would you infer?
Aliens.
But you don't know the aliens exist.
For me at this
so,
point-
so you're automatically looking at the design. You'll say there are alien intelligence that designed it. So when we see the same kind of design in this world, not in moon or another planet, we infer intelligence.
Well, but
Same kind of inference.
I think my opinion about this is I don't mind not knowing everything.
No, that's not the question.
And
My question to you is why are you being irrational? Why are you ignoring your human experience?
why is believing in a God?
No.
question?
No.
It is rational.
Okay, is it
What?
rational?
What is it God?
Okay,
Why is it rational? Like explain to me why believing in a God is rational.
Source of everything, grounding of everything.
Based upon
Well, why? What proof?
just 1 second. Based upon the
The
inference to
example
the
is
best
given.
explanation.
That's not
1 second. 1 second.
Wait. You are filling a gap.
No.
Yeah.
Which we don't know.
Did you fill the gap with the aliens?
No, you're filling a gap.
No.
Did you fill the gap with the
Based
aliens?
upon the inference to the
We
best
don't fill the
explanation.
gap.
Did you fill the gap with the aliens?
What is the best explanation?
Ah,
for
so we
DNA
always make
DNA
inference
code?
to the best
What is
explanation.
I don't know.
No.
You make your
Based on the inference to the best explanation.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Maybe it is a deity.
No. The point. No, you don't have to
But
get to
I don't
deity.
know the
You don't have to
answer.
jump to deity. The point you have to do is this. Well, in my human experience, whenever I see DNA code, when I see digital code, the cause of it is always intelligence. Always an intelligent mind. Always. Never not. So when I see the same type of digital code in DNA, I should infer the same.
But it's
Based upon.
You're counting on probability.
No.
And the probability is there.
No. Based
But
upon.
there's no proof.
Based upon, I'll explain to you. Okay, based upon Charles Darwin's inference to the best explanation. So, what Charles Darwin says is when you see an effect you look for a common cause of that effect.
Yeah.
And then once you know a common cause of that effect, whenever you see that effect, you should infer the same cause. But you're not doing that. What you're doing is seeing the same effect and ignoring its common cause and positing don't know where the gaps. Okay. Now the problem is that's irrational. That's special pleading.
Okay, we are arrested.
I get it.
Can I ask one question?
Yes,
Because
yes.
We came along here. We were interested in the flag there. Is that Iranian flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the Iranian flag, or is it opposition, or is it?
You know
It
it?
looks like the Iranian flag.
I ain't got a clue.
Pardon me?
I think it's the Iranian flag, isn't it?
White one is Zoroastrian.
What's
Is
it?
it?
White one.
Yeah.
Well, you have to think to
The
yourself,
white one, yeah.
All right.
One does.
Yeah.
Zoroastrian. Okay.
Would you say, not knowing who made it, that this flag was there by itself, came into existence just like that?
Yeah, I know the Palestinian.
You would infer complexity and specificity requires intelligence. So when we discuss about the world, why it exists the way it is because it's pointing towards an intelligence.
Yeah.
And that intelligence, as we've described, not only intelligent agency, but someone who's conscious, self-aware, possessor of will, ability, and knowledge.
I think it's been explained.
What other explanation is this? Other than
What?
If you go,
We don't know.
If you take it back right to the beginning,
We don't know.
we don't.
No,
That's the
no, the only other explanation. There's only one other explanation.
that's the only factual explanation about where life really comes from. Is we don't know yet.
No.
Let's take it back to right to the beginning. We take it right back to the beginning of the point the universe being into existence.
What does this one express?
You can't account for the existence of the universe through probability.
Okay, it's all right.
Why? Because
Anytime.
nothing
It's okay.
Having
Stay.
decent conversations.
Stay here. It's a very good
ability to bring about.
father and
Why
son
is it down here? Is because
from Netherlands. From Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
No, but nothingness doesn't even have the potential to explain coincidence.
I think that is the biggest question there is.
Yeah, okay. But I think we can actually come to a definite conclusion. The I don't know isn't a good explanation because an I don't know is turn your brain off and not even.
But and I won't say there's 100% not a God. I won't say that.
No, but-
I will never say that because we haven't proven that. We also have not definitively proven is a
But I
God.
think we can.
And
Let me work
everybody
you,
has a right to believe everything they
No, but
want,
here's the
and I
thing.
think that's the most important thing in
Can I
the
say
world.
one thing?
Like
Can I just
everybody
say one
may
thing?
believe whatever
No,
they
but
want.
listen. Okay, you don't know about the digital code in DNA. Okay.
I see to the,
What are the choices? What are the choices? What could it be? What's the options?
I don't know.
There's only design or random?
Yeah, random is also an
we need to go.
Yeah, we need to believe it. Hey, it was a
All
very
of
good
us, take it
discussion.
to-
Very nice to meet you. All of you.
Remember one thing.
I will
Your position
remember.
is irrational.
I will remember, man. I remember.
Take care.
Right.
Bring next time you come here, bring a dish as well. What was the name of the dish?
Bitterball.
Yes, I want it.
I will.
Bitterball.
I will. Hey, have a very nice day.
So we're just discussing with tourists from Netherlands, from Holland, father and son, very intelligent, as you can see, very nice individuals who've come here to have discussions. But the belief about atheism seems to be still grounded on some kind of, tradition. Like he became an atheist because he was born into a family of atheism. His father was an atheist from a Protestant family. But the reason of why turning we haven't explored. But explaining the world seems to be not very coherent in their perspective, as we've demonstrated. So it's just a matter of, I would say, like fashion and trend that people become an atheist because they study science. As you realize, he was dealing with the DNA, how DNA works and so on. So when you study science, it gives you a false, some kind of paradigm that you don't need God and there is no God, and that people operate on that level. But when question and critique, they also see the inconsistency in their model. As you can see when it comes to the example, if you see a very complex artifacts in the moon or somewhere else, they are ready to posit the alien must have done it, even though they haven't seen any proven evidence. But they can infer it. Design by intelligence that designed it. When we do the same thing about this world and that world demonstrate that there's a designer, they don't want to accept that. So this kind of inconsistency is a hallmark of this trend, modern trend of scientism, where science makes people really, when it comes to religion, don't think too much, don't be critical-minded, critical thinking, and that's the reality. So what we hope is those who are studying science or are professional and science practitioners, use critical thinking in every aspect of your life, religion included, and then you'll realize, of course, there is a creator, there is the one who designed it, because this is the inference to the best explanation. So let's leave it there. Thank you for, viewing this conversation. Let us build a world in which we can understand and learn from each other, and not what we see, hatred and bigotry, but true respect for people, even with our differences. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.